Lecture topic: Allah is with us.
Quran Sharif, Allah Ta'ala says, وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ. Allah Ta'ala is with you wherever you are. Now this is not in our capacity to understand this in the sense of how we understand things around us. Allah Ta'ala is beyond any description. Allah Ta'ala does not have any resemblance of any sort. So without ever trying to think about this ayat in that manner, Allah Ta'ala is beyond His being. We have been prevented and refrained from trying to ponder in His being because it's beyond our capacity. There is no way we can ever do that. What this ayat is nevertheless establishing for us is the consciousness of Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala is with, Allah is aware, Allah is all-knowing. And this is such a deep concept, something, a reality, that if this settles in the heart, then everything that a person needs to now do becomes very easy. Everything he needs to refrain from becomes very easy to refrain from it. So the very, very great personality, Sahal bin Abdullah Tustari rahmatullah alayhi, very great pious personality of his time. So people obviously saw him in his later time, what a great person he was. But he himself mentioned his beginning, that where did this inclination to get closer to Allah Ta'ala come from? So he was only about 10 years old. He says his uncle was also a very pious person, Muhammad bin Sawar rahimahullah. So one day he said to him that, look, when you're going to sleep, so when you just go to bed, then just in your heart, don't even move your tongue in any way, just from your heart alone, 3 times, you say, Allahu Shahidi, Allahu Naziri, Allahu Ma'i. Now, he just gave him the message and the lesson of the same, what is in this ayat. Allah is watching, Allah is aware, Allah is with me. He said three times only. So he said it 3 times. He said every day you say it 3 times. After some days, so now you say it every night 7 times. Now he's a 10-year-old child. So every night you say it 7 times when you get to bed. Allahu Shahidi, Allahu Naziri, Allahu Ma'i, but say it just from your heart. Don't move your tongue also. And then after some time he told him, now you say it 11 times every night. And he says this went on a little at a time, he carried on increasing, and it was barely a month or 2. He says this sat very deeply in my heart. He says from that time, this was so deep and so conscious in my heart that set the foundation thereafter forever. Now, as a young child, 10 years old, but he accepted that advice, he practiced on it, he adhered to what he was told. He didn't just heard something and, well, okay, my uncle said something now, so fine, I heard it. But he took it to heart and he started practicing on it diligently, properly. And at that age already, this consciousness of Allah Ta'ala sat so deeply, he says that this became a very, very conscious thing with me all the time. In other words, what we call nisbat, the connection with Allah Ta'ala, at the age of 10 he already got it. So what he might have built up on it thereafter and where he might have progressed to as his life went on. Now this is what we have to start learning to do, to build up this consciousness of Allah Ta'ala. We are sitting sometimes waiting for namaz to commence, there are a few minutes left. So at that time, these are the things to occupy our mind. Is normally, now we'll be sitting down and trying to occupy ourselves with talking to somebody, and sometimes even talking things which are against the etiquette and the respect of the masjid. So that becomes a bigger problem now, that rather than attaining something, earning some reward, earning some sawab, now we're getting sin. So instead of occupying the time with things that are going to harm us, to occupy ourselves in thinking of this ayat of the Quran Sharif, وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ, these words, but obviously in the manner that was mentioned earlier, that we can never ever bring anything to mind in terms of what we think about around us. Allah Ta'ala is beyond any description, but without any giving any description of any sort, this reality has to come deep down in the heart. So these words are very, very simple. This was just a prescription in his simple understanding to understand at his level. So he gave him those words, whether it is the ayat of the Quran Sharif that a person keeps repeating, وَهُوَ مَعَكُمْ أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُمْ, and يَعْلَمُ خَائِنَةَ الْأَعْيُنِ وَمَا تُخْفِي الصُّدُورِ. Allah Ta'ala knows the deception of the eye, what the heart conceals. He is repeating this in his heart and mind, and this starts developing with consciousness. Allah Ta'ala gives us.
अल्लाह अल्लाह कैसा प्यारा नाम है, आशिकों का मीना और जाम है।